Viking Cruises have a legendary reputation in the cruising world, and in my series, My First Viking Cruise, I'm sharing everything with you about my experience, which is perfect for first-time Viking cruisers or those considering it. Our package included airfare, and in this episode, I'm going to take you through my air travel journey to our port of embarkation, Athens. We flew Lufthansa from Newark to Frankfurt, then on to Athens, with a few surprises along the way. The first episode of My First Viking Cruise gives you a complete overview of the ship experience, from embarkation and cabin details to onboard amenities and more. It's packed with all the little insights that you don't even know to ask for that can definitely help you make your cruise experience as smooth and as enjoyable as possible. You can also check out my article on the Whole Traveler website, where I dive into the full cost breakdown of our Viking cruise, which came out to about $20,000. I break it down into each component and go over all of the essential pre-registration details as well that you'll need to know before you set sail. So back to episode 2. In this video, I'm going to take you through our entire journey from Newark Liberty International Airport all the way to Athens. I'll share with you our experience at the Lufthansa Lounge, our business class flight, the transfer in Frankfurt, the final leg to Athens, and our seamless connection with the Viking team upon arrival. Plus, as I mentioned, there were a few surprises along the way.
This is Terminal B at Newark Airport, and as you can see, it is a very old and cramped terminal with a lot of lines. Because it's such a small space, it's going to feel very, very crowded. There's 2 different levels. There's level 3, which houses airline tickets, and level 2, which also has airline ticket gates. Like Air France is on level 2. Lufthansa Group is on level 3, which is where we're boarding. And as you can see, these lines are not so bad, but just because the space is small, it feels very cramped. So you definitely want to make sure that you give yourself some time and that you're aware. Things can get very tight very quickly. So let's get checked in. So security wasn't too bad. It was, for TSA pre-check, it was a little slow. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like a nightmare. So what was really nice was that you didn't have to take any of your stuff out. So that was really good. The ceilings are super, super low to the ground. So it has a claustrophobic type of feel to it. There's no windows, no natural light. This is an airport that desperately needs to be remodeled. So if you are here at Terminal B at Newark Liberty, gates 60 to 68, you're definitely going to not be impressed. Oh, here's the lounge. So we are here at the Lufthansa Lounge. So overall, the Lufthansa flight from Newark to Frankfurt was, I would have to say, shocking. I was really surprised. I was not a fan of the 222 wide body layout. I thought that was going to be an issue, and it kind of was when you're starting to sleep on those lie flat beds. The lay flat beds are not ideal. The space around the pod is not ideal. There's very few places to put your accoutrement, like your phone, your passport, your glasses, your headphones, all that, your toiletries, all those little things. There's not a whole lot of space to put any of that. And so that makes it very difficult to maneuver that space. The flat bed, the cushioning itself was very worn out and really does need to be replaced or refurbished with more padding. It was very uncomfortable. I didn't actually sleep all that much. It just wasn't a very conducive environment for sleeping, and that bed was, even though it's lie flat, it wasn't comfortable enough to really get into that REM state. But what I will say that I was very impressed with, there's lots of leg room within those pod spaces, so I really liked that. And I also liked the fact that I got to sit next to my partner, so that was really nice too. That was, if you're traveling with people, those 222 layout configurations work very well. But if you're a single flyer, they're not so great. The food, I really loved the food service. I thought the food service was excellent. They give you an amuse-bouche, some drinks, and then they move into the first course, and then move into the main course, and then move into the dessert, and then it ends with like a bunch of chocolates. Like, they give you so many chocolates, and oh, they know the way to my heart. I gained 16 pounds on this flight alone. So that was really good. And it also had a flight attendant who was extremely personable. So that made the entire difference. Her name was Leonie. She was amazing. She was just so friendly and so warm and so kind. And it's like I always say, you can have a completely crappy cabin, a crappy plane, a jalopy, but if you have that one flight attendant who brings the sunshine, who brings the warmth, who brings the love, who brings all the good stuff, it can totally elevate the experience. And Leonie from Lufthansa did exactly that. Guys, give her a medal, give her a raise. She's good, she's worth it. We got into the Frankfurt Airport. We didn't have to take one of those buses to one of the gates. We ended up in Zebra 64, Zulu 64. And it was about a 10-minute, the app says it's a 5-minute walk to A64, to the A area, the A concourse, but it wasn't. It's more like a 10-minute walk. And what surprised me was that there was a Viking agent with a sign that said, "Oh, I'm with Viking." He was dressed in red, a red jacket with a red sign. We're like, "Oh, hi, we're with Viking." We made the connection. He had our name on a checklist and he told us where to go. He said, you have to go, follow the signs, you go left, you'll go through passport control, and then it'll be on your left as you continue leftward. So that was really helpful. I was pleasantly surprised that there was a Viking agent ready to help us with our connection if we had any issues with catching our connecting flight. So that was great because of the fact that our flight from Newark to Frankfurt was delayed by about 30 minutes. So I was really concerned about whether or not we were going to make the connection. I was pleasantly surprised that it all worked out. We went through immigration. The line for immigration took about literally 5 minutes. It was a long line, but it was moving very fast. And this is for folks who are in the States, Canada, where you're considered all other citizens other than the EU. I am so sorry that the lighting here is so bad. I look like I'm in an interrogation room, but I'm in one of those privacy phone booths here at the Lufthansa Senators Lounge in Frankfurt. It's a private place to talk. The lounge itself is packed full of people. You know, the thing about the Senators Lounge is that it seems like it's smaller than the normal Lufthansa lounge, and it doesn't really seem like it's all that different than the normal lounge. So for those of you who want to know what the difference is between the Lufthansa Senators Lounge and the regular lounge, not much, except for Seems like everybody can get in and be a senator. Looks like the Lufthansa Lounge has the same issue that so many other lounges in the States also have, which is tons of people. The Lufthansa Lounge in Newark was also, as you know, packed as well.